Hello and welcome to the Marketing Maven and More podcast, where we dive into the nuts and bolts of marketing, business, and real life. I'm your host, Sharik Richardson. I'm the founder of Digital Innovation Media Group. We are a web design and social media agency based outside of New Orleans, and I'm here to spark conversations that matter to you. And today I'm very pleased to welcome Albert Hurston of Right Choice Accounting Solutions. And we're going to talk about Breathe Easy, how to find your Zen in an entrepreneurial hustle. So I want to first welcome you, Albert, and just give you an opportunity to tell us about yourself.
First off, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. Ain't this the perfect conversation for like our pre-call? Like that's
Yes.
crazy. But yeah, I'll start from the top. My name's Albert C. Hurston Jr. I'm founder and owner of Right Choice Accounting Solutions. I run it with my wife Lauren. She's typically always just off camera, but she had to go get some dental work done. So I'm flying blind. So if this goes off the rails, like just trust that I wasn't being supervised. What we do here at Right Choice is we provide a one-stop shop accounting and tax solution. So instead of you having to go hire bookkeepers and fractional CFOs and tax strategists and CPAs and EAs and all of these different things trying to fit the puzzle together, you can work with Right Choice. And the result of that is of course, is a lot of tax savings, cash flow clarity. You know what's actually going on in your business, and you're able to make better decisions that are based on the numbers. So that's what we do.
Awesome.
We work with those service providers who are ready to kind of ditch the bookkeeping to tax prepare world and get into some actual strategic accounting, our scale level entrepreneurs.
That is awesome and so needed. I mean, I had a conversation with Carla, who we talked about generational wealth. And so having just knowing your numbers and having it managed can make a world of a difference. So I'm just so happy to have you here and hoping to meet your wife one day, because I know that's a very important thing. I know she's an essential part of your business as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but we're talking about Zen and how to find that in the midst of all the hustle. And just like we had our pre-conversation before we started the podcast, you were dealing with hiring and we're kind of dealing with the same type of situation. So every day is so different, but it's still important to find that balance, especially with you when you work with your spouse. You got to find that balance between your marriage and business and things like that. And it's so important. And just want to just throw out a few stats. So 62% of small business owners report feeling stressed weekly. And I'm going to challenge that by saying daily. Okay, especially nowadays.
Who's lying? Like,
Right, exactly. Like weekly. Okay. 47% of entrepreneurs take regular vacations. That's less than half. Okay.
wow.
So when you and I first connected, you were on vacation. So you clearly have gotten to the point where you know that this is essential for you and your business and your family. And burnout impacts 53% of business owners who work 50 plus hours, which that's me, and I'm sure that's you as well.
Yeah.
So these are very real numbers that are representing people like us who run businesses, run teams, and want to make sure our clients are happy, our families are happy, we're happy. And it's a lot to just balance, just for one person or even two people. It's a lot to balance. So I just want to ask this, some questions of you, since you obviously have found that balance in your life. You were able to get away with your family and still come back and run your business. So we know, I'm sure we've heard and we see this all the time online. Entrepreneurship is very romanticized. You see people with the laptops on the beach and they're all in front of the Eiffel Tower taking those brand photos. I think everybody had a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower back around 2015 or so.
Yeah.
But it's romanticized, but burnout is a very real thing
Yeah.
because if you go with that hustle hard culture, you're going to find yourself being worn out. So
Mhm.
how do you help business owners find balance in their financial life?
Yeah, I think it's just everything that you just said is key because you have to be cognizant of what a person is really, for what I do, you have to be cognizant of what a person is really going through.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, but like online is pretend. Like we can call it what it is. Like, I work with my wife. Anybody who has a boyfriend, good and well, me and this lady argue. You don't see us arguing online. It's all like, oh,
Yeah.
we're doing it, black love, couple goals, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
only showing highlight reels. And I think the romanticizing of it came when we got to the PPP thing. And all of these non entrepreneurs were able to call themselves entrepreneurs, pretend to be entrepreneurs. And even act like entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
They had all this free money where you had to learn how to earn and build and sell, and you had
Yeah,
to earn your money. You had a
absolutely.
whole bunch of people with hundreds of thousands of dollars that didn't earn it, and they thought it was just that easy. They thought all of this was just that easy.
Yeah,
As you know, it's just not the case. So knowing that, knowing what a person is really going through, especially a person with a team,
yeah,
like I don't like to I don't like to say this openly so much, but you would know this. Like having a team is like having a whole bunch of adult kids who don't have to listen to you the same way.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, your kids, if they have to do what you say for the most part. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're dealing with adults, they do the most teenage, high school like stuff. And
Yes.
you have to be able to like deal with the idea that, man, I've sacrificed so much. I've worked so hard to build this, and now they don't even care.
Yeah,
Like they're just here for a check, and I've
right.
given my everything to this. So just understanding and being like the person who can say, all right, look, I understand what you're going through, but here's how you remove all of those feelings, all of those emotions, all of that stress. Here's what the numbers say about your business. So if we just move away from like the actual emotional pull of it, because
Right.
don't we love talking about business as business? Like we love like business ain't personal. Ain't no I'm not emotional. Like the popular thing. I'm
Mhm.
unemotional about business. Like you stop being a human when you walk
Yeah.
in your scan your little thing. You ain't a human no more. Like you emotional everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like when somebody disrespects you, yes, you feel disrespected. Even if you know how to deal with that internally and not react,
Mm-hmm.
feel disrespected when somebody, especially like minority entrepreneurs, minority women entrepreneurs, the questions you have to answer just because you showed up and had the audacity to have that skin and that hair,
Yeah.
like you see that when it's happening. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, yeah.
you
You're
just have to you just have to remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Answer those people questions. Don't get offended. Don't get emotional. But like I can see you going through that. But I get to kind of give you an escape away from that because the numbers are zeros and ones.
yeah.
Either it costs too much or it don't. Either that marketing is giving you a return or it isn't.
Mhm.
Either your team you have too much head count or you don't have enough. You're not spending enough in operations. You're spending too much over. It's just it is what it is. And
Right.
it can be a breath of fresh air sometimes when you're because like the human relationship part of business. I think that's what burns us out, right?
Yes.
People doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and they know they shouldn't be doing it. And like you work all these years to build your reputation, and now you got a team of 7 or 8 people who can destroy your name. And they can destroy your name because they weren't listening to what you asked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, so the way I'm able to help entrepreneurs with it is just, that we can have this conversation very realistically because I'm going through it with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the best part of your team because I'm gonna give you exactly what I would want my team to give me. So I think that helps in like the support part of it.
So do you think that this money anxiety, especially right now, everybody's kind of just on a wait and see right now of what's happening with, not to get political, but it's kind of hard not to, just to see what's happening systemic wise. Do you think that's causing people to, make poor decisions like overworking and really just trying to hustle hard and push themselves? Like, do you see that with your clients, and how do you try to tell them, like, look, there's a better way around this besides trying to kill yourself working 60, 70 hours a week?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. People are making like really permanent decision for short term like circumstance because you know, I don't want to get political, but like some of the worst things we can do is like watch political news because
Yeah.
they're not giving us the news, they're telling us what to think. And it's never really as bad as it. Like when you get to the nuts and bolts of it,
Mhm.
and you realize, oh, like they would make it seem like there's a really far, far left and a really far, far right. When realistically, like the people who are actually doing it is like I'm
Yeah.
slightly more. It's always middle.
Right.
So
And yeah.
we're the ones stressing out and overreacting and blah. Like, just think about what happened with Tesla. Like,
Yeah.
Elon Musk was in the White House. It's tanking. It's going bad. He comes out of the White House, beefs with the White House. Like, no, he's a terrible person. It's got like they know they're manipulating us,
Yeah.
but we have to be smart enough to not be manipulated. So I always tell people like, y'all, politics. like pay attention to your local politics and what really affects you, because
Hmm.
most of that big picture newsworthy stuff is posturing. They're not telling us what's really going on. So it's better to like not ignore it, but it's
Yeah.
better to focus on the part that really impacts you. And what that looks like in business is if you only spend percentage of revenue, like if you can be disciplined where like I used to call it 70-20-10 rule. 70% of your revenue goes to your team, 20% goes to reinvestment to the business, personal, blah, 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 10% towards taxes. If you never spend more than 70% of your revenue operationally, you simply will not go out of business. So I don't care if your business is doing $50,000 a month, $500,000 a month, or $5,000 a month. If you do not spend more than you make under any circumstance, you will not go out of business. So sometimes I tell people not to over leverage, because a big problem with small business owners is when we have our first big month,
Hmm.
we build our team like, okay, this is the new normal.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been around long enough to know no matter who's in the White House, no matter what's going on, it's up, it's down, it's up.
Yeah.
You build your reserves when it's up. You hire
Hmm.
like those necessary people when it's up. You take care of all that stuff that you need to take care of, but you do not overreact under any circumstance. Because if it's up, you need to be in the middle, and if it's down, you protected all of your stuff when it was up well enough to stay in the middle. So you don't have to lay off your team. You have reserves. And if you're not over leveraged on like what you wish it looked
Hmm.
like the external forces don't have to hurt you as much. So that's how I talk about it. But I mean, yeah, everybody's overreacting. Especially when like I work with a lot of like consultants
Hmm.
who get like government funding. Like they're losing their like when they
Oh,
started talking about cutting programs,
yeah.
like they're losing their minds.
Yeah, because I'm certified as a women business enterprise. And
Hmm.
so I mean everybody was running scared. But there's always ways around it. And we had a certain webinar for women of color because there are different subsets of that even. And they're like, look, no one can stop y'all from getting together and coming together. You don't have to be just identifying yourself as a minority woman. You can just come together based on the skills that you have alone to
Yeah,
get these same contracts. So even though it's great to have this certification, it's not going to make you be a better business owner. You already
yeah,
have that skill set. You're just kind of so they're basically promoting us to come together, collaborate, and work together. Because like just touching on what you said about the news, I personally do not I don't watch it as much as I used to. It used to be the first thing I did when I woke up in the morning was to turn that TV on, catch the morning news.
mhm,
I think Don Lemon's probably the only one that I listen to, and even not even him every day,
yeah,
because there's some days where I'm on social media or I'm on YouTube, whatever, and I just don't want to do that. But if it's something pertaining to my business, I will get the facts.
yeah,
That's it. And there are a lot of, sources that are more in the middle because I'm more in the middle myself, to be honest with you.
yeah,
And I like to just get someone that's unbiased and say, look, this is really what it is. And,
yeah.
and prepare that way.
I think all of us are right. Like if
Pretty
we're
much,
actually like thinking,
before you look at your beliefs and look at what you're doing, you pretty much are falling somewhere in the middle there anyway.
yeah, you agree with some of what each of them are
Yeah.
saying.
I see wrong on both sides. I see right on both sides.
Yeah, like Republicans can sometimes align themselves too much with like bigots and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they also tell you that we're business owners. They also tell you that they're gonna ensure that you save on taxes. Like so as a black business owner, like I don't support races, of course not. But
Mhm.
do I support tax cuts? I'll tell me more.
Exactly.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
You
Do
know?
I support cutting? Do I support cutting welfare? I grew up poor. Do I support cutting like funds that go into those like underserved communities? No.
No, I don't. Yeah,
You know,
that's where it gets callous, and that's where I'm like, okay, we got to get out of this.
yeah, like but like they they're contradictory. Like neither one of them, like none of that stuff goes with the rest of the stuff. It's
Right.
like, so if you're not in the middle, that probably means somebody's just telling you what to think. Or
Mhm.
somebody's emotionally, like they emotionally abused us over like, you remember like Black Lives Matter and all of those. they emotionally abused us a little bit, and they told us like they're evil. They made us think politics in terms of good and evil,
Yeah,
as opposed to like, what's your interest? What do you want to happen?
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
they sensationalized it, and they played us. So that's why, similar to you, that's why I don't watch the news, because the news doesn't tell you the news, tells you
Mhm.
what it wants you to think. And it overemphasizes like really terrible. Like if you watch the local news,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm in I'm in Atlanta Metro.
Hmm.
Like, boy, a bus will get shot up every day somewhere. Like
Yeah.
it's like
It's
you don't hear.
psychologically really programming you to think one way or another, and
Mhm.
we just have to be more intentional to dig out the news and get the facts. And I'm more of a bottom line person. Just give me the bottom line.
Yep.
What is it? Are we going to die or are we going to live? What is it?
Yeah.
Whichever, so I definitely see that point. And I think as business owners, of course, there's always anxiety with the change of administration because for one, it breaks your comfort zone.
Hmm.
You now have to look at the business landscape and you have to make some changes now. You have to make some pivots. I made some pivots. I hired a coach and worked with me back in January because I want to be ready. And I'm a very proactive person looking at my money, looking at my marketing, looking at my packages, my pricing, all of those things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what work for you to get you to this point is not going to work for you when you're trying to get to that next point down the
Yep.
line. You really
100.
have to be flexible. And the same, whether it's your money, whether it's the way you do business, your hiring, all of the above. You just can't stay the same way or you will fail.
Yeah, you'll feel like right now we need to get very real about pandemic pricing. All
Yeah.
of us need to lower our prices. We need to be figuring out how to lower our prices back to the true market, because the internet and online, like just a less savvy market,
Hmm.
it was sweet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could you do something for 15. It was a point where VAs and stuff, $3,000 a month, 25, like stuff you and I will remember paying $500 a month for, like bookkeepers who just categorize things. They used to be 250, 400 a month. That's 1,500 a month. And then what I'll do is give you categorizations in my blah
Mhm.
blah blah framework. Like, no, you categorizing their books, reconciling and sending them P&L. Like that's not $2,000 a month work.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. But see, you know what happened? They went and hired these coaches who told them to make these little nice sweet packages, right?
yep, high ticket or nothing.
Exactly.
High
And
ticket.
now what you're doing is now considered this high level, whatever, but it's still essentially doing the same thing.
Yeah, because I wouldn't buy it. Like you wouldn't buy it. Like, and now they have to deal with us because they've gave out the market all this bad data, and
Yeah.
they got jobs. They're gone.
Yeah.
But them existing in the market is still here. Because I'm not paying, like, I'm an accounting firm, so I know what I pay my bookkeeping staff to do books.
Hmm.
Hey, I'm not I'm not gonna let anybody I know pay 1,500. Like, I'll be like, send me the engagement letter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're charging you 1,500 a month for bookkeeping. It's like, how about I know a bookkeeper who will charge you $400 for the same thing.
Exactly.
Like it's you have to understand the true market, and we just like right now where the best thing that you and me can do right now is survive. Like if we can make it through the next, I'm gonna call it. This is just speculation. I'm not an economist, but if we can make it another 6, 8 months, the market is what we're feeling is a market correction.
Hmm.
Like even on our Facebook ads and stuff, lead cost is up.
Mm.
Facebook freaking out. They giving us bad data saying we're getting more leads than we're actually getting. Like it's all because all of these, I don't want to say fake entrepreneurs, but all of these non-business, non-savvy entrepreneurs were here, and their buying signals were wrong. It was, if you could give somebody an irresistible offer, they
Hmm.
could resist it. Can I sell you something you don't need for your business?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm laughing because it's so true. I see it every day. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I see it literally every day. Everybody has a high ticket offer now, even if your service is not high ticket. It's just crazy.
yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
take boxes. When you put your stuff in the box, I'll tape it for you in my
okay.
3 month in my 3 month mastermind on box taping, the investment 6,000. Like, what are y'all talking about?
That's the problem with, you know, the online business. And I will be honest, when I first, just getting back to the stress levels of it, when I first got into the online space and I was leaving corporate, I was at Duke, and all I saw was I did this, and 3 months later, I made six figures. I posted 3 times a day, every single day. Just the thought of that, I was already burnt out, and I hadn't written one post.
Yeah.
You hire coaches, and they tell you, oh, what you're writing, that's not it. That's not it. But if you get into my higher program, I can tell you exactly what to write. And
Yep.
so everything I'm doing is wrong. But if I pay you $8,000, you're going to tell me everything to do right. And honestly, it was paralyzing to me because number one, you're comparing yourself to other people. You're trying to be that one voice to stand out in this very crowded market of everybody doing the same thing. And it's really hard for businesses that are looking to break into this online space. They're seeing this one over here doing that, and this one's claiming this, and that one's claiming that. And you're really authentic with your business, and you're like, well, goodness, I don't have these stories. I didn't live in a tent, and now I'm living in the mansion. I wasn't home. I'm serious. I've
No,
heard
it's real. It's
all
funny
these
because it's
stories.
real. Yeah, it's funny because it's real. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, you see it.
But it's true. We've all heard that. I was,
It's a hero story.
yeah, the horror story marketing.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. Look at me now. And it's like everybody had a hard life. So if you're trying to take your business to the next level, you're probably wondering, what in the world am I going to do online? I don't have this horror story. I just want to sell my business. I want to sell my services.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get people to see what I do and the value that I give. But you have to go within all of this other stuff. So it
Yeah.
is stressful, and it is. You compare yourself. I call it a comparatitis. You get that disease, the
Yep.
imposter syndrome that we all deal with. Every time you go to that next level, you got the imposter syndrome. I'm in the wrong space. I can't charge this. I can't do that.
Yep.
And it really takes someone to say, look, okay, calm down. You got this.
Yeah.
You are doing this and that, doing competitive analysis and really looking beyond the curtain and seeing, okay, this person, like you said, you're just doing glorified bookkeeping, but you want 5,000 a month.
Yep. Yep. And the thing that protected us the most is you can't lie to the accountants.
Yeah.
Like when I've seen, like, we've had to like offboard clients because we'll leave a call where they put on an event, a big event. They invested 200,000. They sold 50,000, and they get online and show the pictures of all those free tickets, like the big event. They're like, "Let me show you how I put on this $5 million event." Like, I've seen that. I had a client who did that, and I was like, "Hey, I can't align myself. I know too much."
Yeah.
But it's all posturing, right? It's like the people who are. Man, my uncle used to say this to me. I'm gonna mess up the quote, but it's pretty much like and it's something along the lines of like, in a world full of liars, people who are telling the truth look crazy. It's something like, like in a
Yeah.
room full of fools, people who are smart look like idiots. So, you know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
look
so when you're
crazy for being authentic.
yeah, like we look like people like you and me who actually like, no, here's what your business need and here's how we solve your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had coaching because I love to, like, first
Yeah.
off, I like the room around entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
I had a coach like for years, like we going back and forth, and he was like, just tell them how to write off a vehicle in their business name. And I was like, bro, that's irresponsible because what if they don't need a vehicle? We need to look at everything. He was
Yeah.
like, they don't want all of that. They want you to tell them what they want to hear. And I'm like, bro, but that's irresponsible. Like, I'm a CPA. Like, why would a consultant put a vehicle in the name? And he's like, because they want a vehicle and they want you to tell them what they want to hear. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, that's not an integrity. Like,
Yeah.
everybody, like, online, it was like, everybody should start an S Corp. Everybody should get a business vehicle. We're going to show you how to write it off in the first year. And
Yeah.
if you're like $1 million business, we're going to get you into real estate and we're going to do cost segregation. And that was like all of it. And I was like, man, like that stuff doesn't work for most people.
It
And
does.
where I'm like,
It,
y'all, most of this stuff doesn't work. I'm watching, bro. It's a guy right now, huge. All he talks about every day, like that same 3 times a day, blah blah blah, cost segregation. probably 500,000 followers online. Another guy, all he talked about is I'm gonna show you how to travel and write off, like showing elegant, expensive trips. I'm gonna show you how I write this off in my business. I'm gonna show you how I bought this car in my business. Extremely popular.
Yeah.
But you can't lie to the accountant. So I get to see the back, I get to see the
The back
detail.
office. Yeah.
Popular, no money. I know several people with hundreds of thousands of followers can't sell half of what you sell, a quarter of what we sell. Like,
Yeah.
that's two different things. Like, an online following, people who are willing to watch you doesn't mean they're willing to buy from you.
Big difference.
Yeah, so I think that's always helped us because we've always been able to contextualize, but it's killed some of my clients. Because
Mhm.
even when you tell somebody like that's not real, if they're seeing it every day, you start to look like I got clients who it doesn't make sense for them to be an escort.
Mhm.
But every day they log in, every CPA that pops up, I'm gonna show you how to save taxes by getting to uh oh, Lauren knows I'm on the thing. I'm sorry. You said we were gonna turn off Slack. I'm so sorry. Lauren just sent me a Slack. Everything stopped for a second.
Yeah.
um, but no, like you can barely even convince your clients to trust you because you're the one saying this thing, and
Mhm.
everybody they see all day on their timelines is saying this other thing. And
Yeah.
the corporation is just not the best entity for a lot of people.
Right. And it's so overwhelming because you're like, what is the truth? What do
Yeah.
and it can cause a lot of unnecessary stress because you're just trying to figure out what really can someone just tell me what can I do? You
Hmm.
know? So now we're kind of pivot to like your personal story as far as before you got to where you are now. Have you ever had a season where hustle culture nearly broke you? And then what pulled you out of it?
Uh, yeah. Short answer, yeah. But I think it's deeper than that. We could just talk about it. Like, it's deeper than that sometimes for people who come from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Did like the lessons? Have you ever heard the saying like the lessons you learn to get you here won't take you to the next level?
Absolutely.
So I have a respect for hustling to get because I come from nothing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So if I didn't work my butt off to get things, I would just have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can respect like hustling. What almost destroyed me was thinking I would be able to hustle my way through the next level. Um, just really personal story about it ain't personal, really like well, it's personal to me, story about Right Choice. We built Right Choice into a seven-figure firm,
Mm-hmm.
but the firm was Lauren and I, so a VA, a bookkeeper, and then like just some other contractors who did little stuff. So Lauren and I, with all these clients, with all these needs, we were working 50, 50, I would say 50 hours is normal most of the time. Like we working not 50, we working 70 hours. We are like dropping our kids off when daycare opens at 6:30 and picking them up at 6:30 and then going home and getting on our laptop. Like we had to get an office outside of our home
Mm.
because it was like it never stopped. It
Yeah.
was like we were just at work and in bed and at work and in bed when we were trying to work. So I was like, bro, we got to get out of here so we can break it up.
Right. Yeah.
So, because with me, the thing that makes it a little bit more complex
Mm-hmm.
is it's me and my wife, and we have three children.
Yeah.
So it's not one of us burning out because she with me. Like if you see me, she's with me. She always got my back no matter where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not me burning out because I'm working so much. It's us burning out because we're working so much. And if we burned out,
Yes,
what
sir.
about our kids? We got three kids. One plays soccer, one plays baseball, softball, one plays basketball. They practice throughout the week. Who's gonna take them to practice?
Right.
Your little girl. I have an 8-year-old. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you know 8-year-old girls, and now I have a 5-year-old who now found her voice. I don't know if you know 8 and 5-year-old girls. They will talk your head to the moon. They'll talk it clean off your shoulders, walk
Yeah.
away with it, and continue talking to it. You can't be short with your babies. Like I gotta be a dad, and I gotta listen to all that ridiculousness they talking about
Yeah.
because I gotta teach them that no, you deserve to be listened to. I don't care how much you're talking. Like if somebody cares about you, they're gonna hear you out. or they're gonna be transparent with you, like, baby, give me a second, I don't have time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so tired and burned out that I'm like, oh, get away, you know?
Mhm. Oh,
So,
exactly. I mean, I have three boys
yeah,
and your teens. So the talkative part is over. I'm more the one trying to talk to them now because they're
yeah,
all like PS5 and their friends and stuff like that. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Because
My son was easy. He was cool.
Mhm.
Always. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah,
I
he
don't
was
know,
always cool.
because I grew up with girls and then had all boys.
Oh yeah, so you get both sides.
Yes. So I know how the girls can be, but then I have three boys who went through the, mama's boy phase. They're still mama's boys, just different because now
Yeah.
they're teenagers.
Yep.
And so now they got friends, they got other people in their lives and things like that. And so that same balance speaks for me because when I was going through that whole phase of, imposter syndrome, comparatitis, all that, they're little mommy, come watch SpongeBob, whatever with me. And I had to let that go. And that's how I learned boundaries. My,
Yeah.
one of my best years in business was my worst year mentally because I had have no boundaries in place. I said yes to everything because I had that mindset. I have to say yes. I got to do all these things, and people took advantage of that.
Yep.
And I went back and read one of my journal entries from that year, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I even get out of this? It
Yeah.
yeah, it took a coach. It was like, okay, put your phone on do not disturb. Go and rewrite your contract. And that was it. You don't have to answer the text message. No, make them call you or email you Monday morning and tell them to get back to Monday. Monday, oh my gosh, they'll go to somebody else. Well, if they go to someone else, let them go to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But I had to, hey, you're a person, you deserve that time with your family too. And you don't belong to all these people. As long as you're delivering what you need to deliver, they don't get to call you 10 o'clock at night and text you 10 o'clock at night when you're doing movie night with your kids and early Sunday morning as you get ready to go to church for things that are non-emergent,
Yeah. Yeah. Like you
but
remember
yeah.
like the quote, like everybody's emergency isn't your emergency.
Yes.
Like that changed a bunch of our lives because most of us started, we didn't have clear office hours. You know, at this point in the
Oh,
game, like I don't have clients who think they can just anytime. Like y'all know, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday 9 to 3. If I am working, if I'm working over the weekend and you send me a message and I see it, I'll get back to you. But
yeah.
expect the 24 to 48 hours typically. Now, you know, we always strive to exceed,
Yeah.
but like, you know, because some people are so selfish in business that
Mm-hmm.
they'll send you a message at 4:59
Yes.
p.m. and want you to get right to it when they're logging off and going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
They want to put you to work. I had a client recently. Account it's different because personality. I can kind of be real with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, stop like using your whole work day for work day and think you're gonna put us to work at 7 p.m. I can talk with my clients like
Yeah.
that because we're all on the same team. I was like, bro, like why you write me in Slack at 7 p.m.? Because if when you do that, I'm assuming it's urgent.
Right. Exactly.
Check it because I do care. I'm gonna check it.
Yeah.
But like, don't be talking about like, hey, we got an invoice due next Tuesday. Like we manage the invoices. Like, hey, do y'all have the invoice for next Tuesday on your radar at 8:30 in Slack? And I'm like, bro, why are you sending me this at 8:30? He's like, oh man, just finishing my day. And so I was like the next time. So I was like, bro, like schedule that in Slack to come during business hours. Like, if you do that, I'm gonna think it's important.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't dare write me after hours with something that don't matter. Like you wouldn't have ever been late on the invoice. And
Right.
I'm saying this because I don't manage the invoices at Rachel. But I'm like, bro, why are you trying to make? Because I got a team of, we very much so work with a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
black owned, minority owned. We care about our clients.
Yes.
Like a big problem that we solve is a lot of our businesses kind of get pushed to the side. We don't get the respect. So we were like, no, we gonna work with the minority owned, the women owned, the black owned. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying minority, but you know what I mean. Like the black owned businesses, the women owned businesses, and we gonna make sure we value them up here.
Exactly.
So I hire a team, and that's a part of like I'm asking you that as I'm hiring you. I'm like, are you passionate about like your community and that sort of thing? Like, are you passionate about small business? And it's like, man, I've always wanted to like help because like good people have always wanted to help So
Mm-hmm.
that's our team. So if you like writing us at 8 p.m., most of the people on my team are gonna be like, "Oh man, what's going on? Let me."
Exactly. Yeah, that's I'm seeing text messages coming in. Now I don't have that problem anymore because I had to train everybody. And that's
Yeah.
part of my onboarding process. Just understand these are your expectations. This is what you can expect of me. And this is what I can expect of you.
Yep.
And there is a line there, like you said, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Anything coming after that time will be addressed the next business day. That's
Yeah.
it.
And it's sad you got to do that,
It
Lauren.
is. Yeah, it really is. But I mean, I'm telling you, I was like, before my coach snapped me out of it, I was losing my mind.
Hey, Lauren taught those black rules. I know it's a small business thing, but at first when we were first working, only black people work with us. It is what it is when you look like this.
Hey,
Like a lot of people don't would never take you seriously, but she used to call them like black rules. It's like when you're doing our own board, and we would have like stipulations, like practically in a fancy or professional way of saying, "Hey, you understand that you gotta pay something. I don't work for free. Like there's an investment. If you
exactly.
don't make this, like we had all of those black rules that were trying to protect us from people just wasting our time."
Yes.
And like sometimes Lauren be like, "Hey, man, you remember we used to talk about black rules all the time?" It's like, hey, I don't work for free. Hey, yes, this is an investment. Hey, yeah, like just the little stuff that why am I even having to tell you this? Hey, business hours are this. Hey, expect 24 to 48 business hours is considered amazing when
Yeah.
you're doing business with like business people. But like, be dealing with somebody who like ain't fluent. Like, if you don't reply to them in like 30, 45 minutes,
Oh,
man, I need a refund on services
oh,
because I was expecting. And don't you dare get somebody a discount less than like your lowest package. Like, them people, man, I just feel like this level of investment, I should be getting more. And you got people who pay you like your higher tier. Like, some of the people, I'd be like, hey, you check your reports, not yet. Bro, look at your reports. That's how you
yeah.
like they just pay the money and I have to chase them down to even use the stuff. Then you
Mhm.
got people who want to give you pennies who will stress you. Because it's typically that type. It's the people who aren't super business savvy and don't pay what you deserve that want
Exactly.
like everything and your children.
Hmm.
They want everything you have and everything that your children have.
It's funny because I was networking today. I had a virtual networking with a travel agent, and she does like luxury experiences. And she says the biggest problem with her is that she's got people who want the Costco treatment. They'll give them a quote and then they'll go online. Well, I found this hotel for cheaper. And she's like, this is not what it's about. And I told her, you need to reframe that. You need to tell them this, you're paying for a personal experience. You're paying for something that's customized to what you want to do in this country. It is not about Costco because you can just go to Costco's website and book it yourself.
Yep.
But only she's going to tell you what the best restaurant is and what the best place for this and the best place for that is, that your interest,
Yep.
right? Costco doesn't know that. They just, whatever you tell them you want to do, they'll give it to you, but
Yep.
you have the know-how. But it's the same thing. I told her I have to change my lead form because I get people who don't even look at my prices, don't even go to my website. They
Yep.
just expect me to magically do a website for $500.
Mm-hmm.
And one person even tried to pull the black business thing with me. Oh yeah, black business. I said, no, this is not about black business. This is business.
Yeah.
Okay. My prices are advertised.
And that's disrespect. Ain't that disrespectful to
It's
feel like we
very
supposed to be
disrespectful.
cheaper? Because we
It,
all
yeah.
they act like we're not all black. Like
Yeah.
personally, I worked 10 times harder to be here. I probably had obstacles that a normal person wouldn't like how hard I worked to be here. For you to show up and feel like this should be the budget or the cheat or the hookup, like you disrespecting me. You disrespecting everything and I love that. Like you will be surprised like the circles I run in now.
Mhm.
Like you will be surprised how often we're like, no, bro, I can do that for blah blah blah. And people are like, no, what's your price? Like I was one of my clients, he's an executive coach, and I was like, man, if they keep stressing me out like this, I'm gonna have to make sure I come and get in your coaching before they be done drove me crazy because I need some tools. And he's
Yeah.
like, man, I can get you in at a great price. I was like, bro, I don't need a great price. I needed to work. I'm like, I
Yes.
need you to because I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the skin we're in is such an advantage,
Mm-hmm.
but it attracts just so many unnecessary like we
Yeah.
find ourselves in so many unnecessary obstacles.
Yeah.
Like I love like what Viola Davis said about it when she was like, I went to the same school she went to. I got the same awards. I had the same shows. My ratings were better, blah, blah, blah. But they don't even give me a tenth of what they give them.
Exactly.
I was like, bro, that's because you black. Like, let's not. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, my peace of mind lies in my contracts and my terms and conditions.
yeah,
Because when you sign off on those things, you understand it all goes back to that. And that's when I'm telling you, my blood pressure went down, my stress level went down. Because all I have to do is copy and paste. See this right here? When you sign this, that's what you agree to,
yeah,
you
and
know, because otherwise they will run you and you'll look up and wonder what happened to your business and
yeah. I
you
mean, there is a hookup though. There's a hookup from working with us, but it ain't in our pricing or our service. It's saying, I can talk to you how I really talk.
right, right.
I'm not gonna surprise you if I start just if I get all the way relaxed and just talking to you regular like we known each other forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the icing. You
Yeah.
can be yourself when you work with like to a certain extent, depending on the you don't want to be like in mediation with your attorney, like, yeah, bro, blah blah.
Yeah, there's a time to be professional, and there's times where we can enjoy the culture that we
Yeah,
have. We can definitely do that, but as long as we know what hat to put on and when to take put it on and when to take it off.
that's the perk.
Yeah,
You from right outside of New Orleans.
that's where I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I'm outside of New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can hear your accent a little bit. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that don't sound Southern to me. It
Yeah.
sound. I was gonna say you from Jersey, like, but you from Philly. You know
Yeah.
what
Not you're not far off. Yeah.
Yeah, but like so many of us, a lot of times, even our accents are masked a little bit. But when we get into the conversation, I didn't hear your accent at first.
Okay.
It's just as we talk, like that's the icing.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
be from these places, we got all these shared experiences, and once we've handled our business, now
Mm-hmm.
we can just chop it up. When I say I'm really from the hood, I don't have to deep dive that. You know what that means, and
Exactly.
you can respect the difference between that and where I am now. And you
Mm-hmm.
can respect me and my wife building a company together. I don't have to tell you this. We ain't got to talk about it.
Yeah.
But when I'm delivering my service, that's the icing. Oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is a solid brother, and I can trust him because I know he wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be here if you didn't work as hard because you're not pretending.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like when you get somebody legit, that's the icing, and that's what we need to respect each other for. Like we live in a country that try to make this impossible for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like black people not supposed to be able to go build $1 million businesses. They
Exactly.
they
Yes.
hit all the wealth, all the knowledge, all the everything from us, and we did it anyways. And now you're the person who gonna try to undervalue what I built. You the one who gets it.
Not to mention the legacy. You have 3 children, I have 3 children. This is for not just for me, it's for them.
Yeah,
For them to look whether they want to come into the business or not, this is still a legacy for them. This is what's feeding and providing for them.
yeah,
So, yes, I take all of that very seriously. If you're not doing what you should do, either as an employee of mine, or if you're not living by the expectations that were set to you as an onboarded client, then we're going to have a conversation that you probably won't like,
yeah.
you know,
And it has to be that.
so
If people respect that, you'll never have to do that. I always tell people that work at Right Choice, I was like, bro, this is the most. Matter of fact, ain't that where it started? Like that
yeah,
post on Facebook. I
yeah.
was like, it's the most laid back, easy. Like I'm not tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like we go so far where if it's a team, like I got a team of black women. Like if it's team only,
Mm-hmm.
you got your hair wrapped for the meeting, like, and we ain't no client facing, no nothing. Like,
Yeah.
no, you wrap your hair. Like if I was to show up right now with waves,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't get them waves without wearing a do rag. It's a part of it. We understand that.
Yeah.
So whereas if it's client facing, blah blah blah, don't be showing up like.
Of course. Yeah.
But if it's us, like you ain't got to unwrap your hair real quick for a 30-minute meeting and then go back after the meeting and rewrap your like
Yeah.
come as you are, right? Like
Yeah.
just I'm always like, just do your job first. Do it at the highest level. Right choice is the best. And when I say I mean it, we the best at communicating to our clients. We're the best at our financial reporting. We the best at all of these things that an accounting firm is supposed to do. I
Mm-hmm.
pay people specifically to ensure that I'm not online lying. Because a lot of the people that trust me and look to me are my people who I want to help win.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I would want them to know about me is I'm a liar. And the last thing you need to do is make me a liar. Because I
Exactly.
depended on you to protect this reputation. Like it's very clear around here. So I'm like, all you gotta do is try your best and work hard, and then you just come as yourself. And we been here having a ball. Like
Yeah.
now my director of sales and growth is here. Her son's in the office. My son interns here in the summer. I got a little basketball hoop that ADP dropped by because they want us to move from Gusto, whatever. But we
Mm.
got a little basketball hoop. They was out there in a full one-on-one game. I walk out there. Chloe got her phone out taping it, and when I'm walking through, like her son, he's 8. He shoots. What am I gonna do? I threw the ball. I blocked the mess out of him because
But
that's our culture. Because
that's
everybody's work is done.
and that's the dream. Honestly, that is the dream where you're able to deliver at a high level and still be human.
Yeah.
Still be human. I mean, that's what it should be. Your son coming there to work. My son wants to do video editing because he loves he just does it for the heck of it with anime. I'm like, well, come do it for me.
I know that.
That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's like you want this. This is the dream that you work for.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing when you get to realize it, that all the work that you put in and now it's here.
Yeah.
So yes. But
And it could.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna finish what I was saying. It could all be like that if people would just respect us.
Yeah.
If people would just respect our contract, respect our agreement, respect what we're trying to build, it could be so great.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's all I was gonna say. It could be so amazing if people would just respect us, like,
Hmm.
and it ain't even like give us respect, just show us the level of respect we've earned.
Exactly. Because
So,
we worked hard for this. All right, I just want to have one more question for you.
oh man, this flew by.
I know it's crazy how we talk all this time. I'm telling you, this I did one interview I looked up. I was like, wait, but girl, we've been talking for an hour. Um, so give us one mindset or boundary that protects your peace as a business owner.
Well, I think so we have very clear like principles. Our mission, vision, and principles are super clear. So we feel our emotions around right choice. I don't remember if we were taping. Because sometimes the client just they piss you off.
Yeah.
And we don't being professional don't mean being fake around here.
Yeah.
We feel our emotions here with the team. Like if we need to come in here and like get it all out, like our real human emotions,
Mm-hmm.
do that. But the boundary is our clients, we serve our clients.
Yeah.
We serve our clients. We serve our clients within the scope of what we agreed to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So between Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, I mean Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5, Friday from 9 to 3,
Mm-hmm.
we serve our clients at the highest level. We overserve. We do all of these things. And a clear boundary is at 5 p.m. I don't know y'all no more.
Yeah.
Like, don't come like I am, because I work with my wife. So it's so like when you work with the one person and like half of the day they serve this role, and the second half of the day they serve a different role.
Yeah.
And not to be vulgar or crazy, but I don't want nothing that happen Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5 to be affecting what I want to happen Monday through Thursday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So clear boundaries, clear boundaries are important just for that. So a hard boundary, and I said it way too late to be honest. A hard boundary is when we're working hard,
Yes.
and when we're not working.
Right. Work
Like
hard, play hard. Yeah.
work hard, play hard, and that's like it's hard to do. But
Yeah.
when you really like stick to that
Mm-hmm.
at the highest level, you realize, oh wait, they didn't even need that. Like like when you stop working over the weekends, and you like when we like mentally can get cool with it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh wait, that ain't even that big of a. They didn't even need.
Mm-hmm.
Like it don't even come up. Like when you get to the point where you're working with ideal clients and target clients and people who respect you and appreciate what you deliver,
Yes.
with those stressful burnout creating habits that we had, we did that to ourselves. You know what I mean?
No one told you to say yes. You could have said no.
You could have said no, and if you had said no or just reframed, most of them would have been like, "Oh yeah, I understand. That's cool." Because most of the time you can relate. Like if you were doing my marketing and I was over here being unrealistic and I was like, yeah, can you get it? If I'm calling you at 4:30 because I've been busy all day and I'm like, hey, can you get it done today? And you're like, no, it's 4:30. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry about that. But
Right.
how many years will we just get mad? I asked you at 4:30 and you're like asking me to do it today. Because all of us have went through that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I'm
true.
not even thinking, like, if I'm doing your accounting and you need an invoice to go out today because the client's like, we need to send this now. And it's 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I got to do this today. I got to send it to them before they change their mind. And you like, can you do it today? And you don't hear from me until tomorrow at 10. I get here at 10 about, oh, I'm so sorry. I sent it. And they pay it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I clocked out at 5. I know it was urgent. We're not available after 5. I'm sure they'll understand. Let me know if I need. All you have to do is like communicate.
That's it.
All, all those issues we try to avoid by overworking and killing ourselves, because these are stress grades. When I started I don't know if you can see on that web.
Yeah. You
I'm
can't see mine because mine are under some hair dye.
Oh
So
yeah, I got a patch up here. Like I was like, bro. But like I'm
yeah.
38 by the way. You know that I guess that's young and black gray. I still look young because of
You're still
how it is.
young.
You already know like you could be 24, you could be 64. I will have nowhere. You'll never know what a black woman.
That is
But
true.
for me, like these grades,
Hmm.
these are 100% stress grades. I started right choice. I was 33, I think, going on 33, 34.
Hmm.
I didn't have any grays. By the time I was 35, like my beard had started graying. I was killing myself.
Yeah.
Pressure was high. I'm also fat, so
But I
you know,
mean, it's most of it is the mindset. You
yeah,
have not developed at that point in time the mindset that says no is a whole sentence. You know what I mean? That's it. You don't need an explanation. And I have so much respect for people who come in the game with the boundaries already set. Don't
yeah,
call me after 5. I don't work weekends. If it's not an emergency, you get a call back the next business day or whatever. Anything after 4:30 is considered 5 or whatever, depending on what it is. It's
yeah,
just, and people look at that and say, oh, you're being mean, but no, because you know yourself and you know what's going to help you work at your best capacity, mentally as well as creatively or whatever it is that you do. And it's okay to honor that.
yeah,
It's okay to say, this is what helps me do my job best if I have these things set up so that you get the service that you're paying for. It helps everybody. It helps you, your family, and your clients. If
yeah.
your mind is already at a place where it's clear, you're able to focus, self-care is something that, it's thankfully now after the pandemic, people are really paying more attention to it and
Mm-hmm.
realizing that it's not something you should ignore. Because it really is something that if you do ignore it, it can kill you. Stress can kill.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, so I mean that's just a huge thing that I hope that for those of you who are watching, if you are dealing with just how to set those boundaries, it's hard, even years in business, to just
Mm-hmm.
be able to say no, I can't do that. No is a full sentence. So I just want to thank Albert Hurston for being here with me today and just sharing so much that is so necessary and so needed for everyone in business, particularly those of us who are running teams, those of us who are, working at a higher level, because you have a lot to lose.
Yes,
You
yes.
gain a lot, but you can definitely lose a lot with a brand that goes wrong because of a team member or because of a client wore you out and cause you to really lose touch with the stress level. So if you have any questions, post that in the comments. Any comments or reflections about what we talked about, please do that. Albert, can you let us know where we can find you online? We're
So
also going to have links in the description as well, but if you can tell us where we can find you.
thank you. So, of course, if you, I still have room on my personal Facebook, believe it or not. Like I've always said I was gonna keep it small. So you can actually at this point, if you cool enough, you can add me as a friend on Facebook at Albert C. Hurston Jr., LinkedIn Albert C. Hurston Jr., Instagram Albert the CPA. If you want to do a deep dive into Right Choice, it's Right Choice Accounting Solutions everywhere. Facebook, LinkedIn, I think, is what my marketing team primarily focuses on. So if you want to get the best stuff, probably follow us on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. And if you want to get into like the typical CEO dad life, if you really want to meet me for real, that's probably gonna be on my Facebook page. And again, if you cool enough and if you're kind of on what we're on, I'm gonna accept your friend request and we can chop it up. I'm not a celebrity or anything, so very, very real. Don't it freak? I don't want to sidebar and start a new conversation. Doesn't it freak you out when people like just recognize you, like just
Yeah.
randomly?
Like when I go to networking, people are like, oh, I saw your show, or I saw this, and you said this and you said that. So
The
it's like, oh, okay.
craziest place I got recognized was on a flight to Greece, and
Oh,
dude stood up like Albert the CPA. I was like, no.
oh, goodness. Okay.
Me and Lauren arguing is the worst case. Now let's wrap. You're wrapping this show, but yes, Albert the CPA everywhere. Albert C. Hurston Jr. Everywhere. And that's pretty much it. If you want to learn more about working with us or partnering with us, if you want to kind of take your business and accounting to the next level, just shoot us an email, info@rightchoicefirm.com. And the last thing I do want to say about this conversation, if you don't mind, is like, because I didn't give a lot of like helpful tips, I'll say. Like I would say 99% of the transformation from every stage that I moved up in my life has just been a decision.
Mm.
Like we're calling it boundaries, but it's just deciding what's yes, what's no, what's compromise, what's non-compromise. And it's just that simple. It feels harder, it looks harder. No, it's just I do not work after this time. I do not say yes to these type of clients.
Right.
And you just have to, since I'm from the hood, you just have to stand on it. Once you say it, you got to stand on
That's it. And
it.
it sounds simple, but when you start doing it and taking steps towards that, it gets easier and easier.
Yeah, it's super simple now. I fired somebody I love today.
Yeah. So
Should have did a job.
you gotta do what you got to do, you know. But thank you, Albert, and thank you all for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe to his channel. Also turn on your notifications so you know when new episodes pop up. Again, I'm Sharique, the Marketing Maven, and this is the Marketing Maven and More podcast. And we hope that you enjoyed our show. Thanks.
See y'all.